Hello and welcome back to Let's Try Snurks. I it's Snickerks. Uh, hey, we're trying it again. I know that's strange. No, this is not a series. No, I'm not going to do a series on this game because I don't think that there's really a lot you can say or show about this game in terms of like its actual gameplay. But I am looking at it again because it's gotten a couple of updates. It's actually developing quite a lot. There's a new shop system. You can level up your shop. There've been quite a lot of quality of life features. There's a lot going on. I've actually beaten the game now. I'm a winner chicken dinner. So I'm on New Game Plus, which is there are very minor differences, which I will highlight. But I'm just going to I wanted to come back to this game and show it off a little bit more because it's actually developing. There's quite a lot more going on here, and it's I guess what's surprising to me because like I showed this game off. I play it in my off time occasionally. But what's surprising to me is like how dramatic some of these updates have been. They've been, it's I would have considered this game like finished and done with. Like it's not necessarily a game that needs a ton of depth. And it's not necessarily a game that needs a lot of follow up. It's like it was good. I enjoyed it. I beat it and I'm playing it and it's fine. It's exactly good. So when I started seeing updates, it's like, hey, this is the wizard update, and there's like more stuff. Like here's the new mercenary class. Oh yeah, and they changed how the sorcerer works. So these dots are not actually arbitrary. I found out they actually represent when you get your perks with each class. So this guy, you're gonna get if you own 3 mages, you're gonna get one perk, and then when you get 3 more mages, you're gonna get another perk. So that's like an example of like how the perk system works. And then with these guys, if you own 2 mercenaries, you're going to get a perk, and if you own 2 more mercenaries, you're going to get another perk. So, this guy is actually too expensive. I'll get the squire. Um, so they've actually added. I think it's just a one man dev working on this game. Is that doing their darndest to make sure that this game is worth coming back to. And, that's not to say it's not, once you beat it, there's nothing left to do. Obviously, there's more to do. There's quite a lot of classes I still haven't really experimented with. And there's tons of items that I haven't seen. And New Game Plus actually makes things a little bit more interesting. So when you're playing the game, you're only allowed 7 units. At first, but then when you get to New Game Plus 1, you can get 8 units, and then when you get to New Game Plus 2, you can get 9 units, and so the snake is ever growing. Hitting walls grants a 25% movement speed, 10% damage, defenses, and attack speed to all allies with at least one enchanter. All enemies move slower. This is good. So here's another quality of life: is you get a free reroll when you're picking your thing. The previous update they added rerolls, but they were 15 gold each, which is pretty pricey. But now you get to reroll once, so I actually am going to reroll, and I think I'll get the ballista. I have a rogue heavy group for now. Chronomancer. I don't remember the Chronomancer, but I might have seen it. I'm going to get the host. So I do have a strategy for this. Since this isn't, let's look at twice, or a new. I played my hand a little too strong there. Let's try again. I may as well, if you are playing this series, this game. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. If you are playing this game and you're struggling, I have some tips. I've been playing, and I am a fan of these kind of draft games. I play a few of them. I've played quite a bit of Monster Train, which is not completely dissimilar. It definitely relies on synergy to kind of carry you forward. Merchant, interesting. Chance for enemies to drop gold on death. Oh, that's really cool. I'm not going to pick that one. I'm just going to, I'm going to roll with this for now. Oh yeah. And by the way, it lets you know, before you jump into the next level, what you can expect. Like, is this a hard level? Which just basically means you're going to get swarmed with a bit more enemies than normal, or is this an elite level in which you have to fight a boss? So in terms of like strategy for this game, something I do recommend, because I have struggled a little bit myself with this game, is don't necessarily go for synergies right away. Don't necessarily like, oh, I want to build a mage snake, so I'm only going to buy mages. And don't go for gold interest right away, because then you're hoarding your gold too quickly and you're going to die to basically, you'll probably die to the elite because you won't have enough firepower. This snake is actually struggling a little bit, so I would like to see more. Oh, minor. Picking up gold releases 4 homing projectiles that each deal 10 damage. Okay, interesting. So there's like gold on the field. I'm going to get the barbarian. So knowing how the gold works is actually quite helpful in the game. You gain 1 interest each round for every number divisible. How do I say it? Every 5 gold you have. So right now I have 6 gold, so that means I'm going to get +1 interest when the round is over. That goes up to a limit of 25 gold. So once you have 25 gold, there's no reason to continue hoarding your money. What I generally do is I try and build up my snake enough. If I can survive the first elite, which this is, then things are going well, and then I start to hoard my gold a little bit. And I wouldn't say don't buy anything. What I would say is don't buy too much. Maybe buy like 1 thing per round. And like keep an eye on your gold. If buying something will drop you below, like there's a word for it, and my brain is forgetting it. But basically a 5. If you have like 15 gold, for instance, and like buying 1 gold or buying 1 unit would drop you below it, then maybe hold off if you can. As long as you're not fighting an elite, I suppose. This first elite is really the defining moment, because if you can beat that elite, then you can start to snowball. It's when you get your second item, enemy spawn with less HP. Taking damage also shares that across all enemies. I like this one. This one's good. I didn't realize the first reroll meant the first reroll ever. I thought it meant like when every time you get an item, you get 1 free reroll. That's not the case. Interesting. I'm learning things. So like, for instance, here we have 15 gold. We just beat our elite, so this next level is not going to be too bad. So actually, it really doesn't benefit us to buy anything there. And that swordsman would have leveled up our swordsman because we do have a swordsman. But as far as I can tell, buying more or duplicates doesn't really matter unless you're actually leveling up that unit. Meaning, I only have 1 swordsman, so buying a second swordsman wasn't going to level up our swordsman. It was only going to get us a second one. You need 3 units in order to level up your unit. This snake is actually really not doing well. I need more rogues anyway. We have 3 swordsmen, but what we would really like to see is actually more rogues, since we got that perk specifically with rogues in mind. Oh, this is bad. Also, and this is gonna sound obvious, but how you move your snake around really does actually make a difference. Like not taking extra damage if you can kite the enemies properly actually really does matter. I've lost rounds or entire games because I just like moved badly, and I like absolutely could have kept going. So now we have over 28 gold. So like I would say that it was a good idea to save on that 1 round we had 15. We could level up our shop. Chances of units appearing in the shop. On the shop. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier... Okay, so this increases your odds of getting the rarer types of units, which is good. How much does it cost, though, is the thing. I just bought it, but I still don't know. Well, I was at 28, so I guess it costs 5. Okay. By the way, I mean, like, being below 25 is actually not a bad thing, because I know that if I complete this next round, I'm still going to be over 25. You don't necessarily need to play your gold interest completely optimally. And then, like, this game is actually not going very well because I'm not getting basically any of the synergies that I'm hoping for. But you basically, like, after your first elite, you do want to start focusing on, like, building into your synergy, or at least hard into one synergy. And like, I would say you want to go hard on one of the mainstay synergies, meaning something where you're going to get a perk for having 6. I'm probably wrong about that, but I definitely think there are, like, mainstay classes and then subclasses. Wow, we might die here. So, like, the rogue is a mainstay class because it's gonna be the most powerful when you have 6 of them. And then you have subclasses like the swarmer, which has, benefits when you have only 4. This is bad. Not sure if... Why is our dude not attacking? This is a bug? He like straight up isn't doing anything. He did not attack at all. I wonder what unit that was, so I don't buy it again. I wonder if maybe that was a bug. Let's try the new mercenary class. As long as we're looking at this game again, I may as well. I also think so. I'm on New Game Plus, so I do have a little bit of extra room to play with. But with 7, you still have enough room to have one mainstay class and then one extra unit. I think it's really important to have a healer. Maybe not so much when you are first starting out, but I don't really have a lot of options here. But yeah, I think it's the cleric or the priest, like, heals all of your units 20% of their health every time they do something. Was our miner like totally not a good option here? I really need to pay more attention to what some of these units do. But luckily you can still hurt enemies by bashing into them. And I guess we did have a healer, so bashing is fine. So what does this guy do? Chance for enemies to drop gold on death. So we had nothing that dealt damage. That's really good. We could try... See, this isn't really a good option. Juggernaut deals AoE and pushes enemies away with a strong force. Okay. Yeah. All right. I mean, we don't have a lot of options. But yeah, I think you want to have one mainstay class and then like a one extra unit that kind of like supports that class. An option is, like, usually a mainstay class, like, there are units that'll have like that class and then also an extra class. So you'll have like a rogue swarmer, and I like the swarmer classes because they kind of like they kind of put damage on the field ready for units to absorb when they're available, which can actually be really good because sometimes there's a little bit of downtime between waves, and so you're building up that extra damage that hits them all at once. This is a really bad snake, by the way, right now. I'm just gonna slam into them. We don't have to worry too much yet, but we really could use an extra. Okay, nuker. Nuker and then another miner. Let's grab the nuker so we actually deal some extra damage. But yeah, like, until you get to like level 10 plus, you don't want to start re-rolling. Is the thing. It's way more valuable to buy a unit, even if it doesn't synergize. Like a good unit is better than a bad unit that synergizes. This is good. I mean, this is better than nothing. And I mean, like there's something to be said about units that synergize that don't necessarily share the same perk. Like this is a pretty good setup where I have a unit that like throws everything together, and then I have one unit that just like nukes them. That's actually a pretty good setup, even if it's not doing all that much damage all the time. Oh, that was bad. Let's just kill this last guy. Okay. No. Yes. That's what I like. I'll just like slam into these last two guys. The boss is going to be tricky since I'm not really doing a lot of damage or like doing any consistent damage. I really need something else. But I've been getting very unlucky. Attacks by mages, nukers, voiders have a 20% chance to create a void rift. That actually sounds very tempting. AoE damage. All AoE attacks deal 5% damage per unit on hit. Let's try the void rift. And if I die on this run, then I'll call it there. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll buy these 2 units. Nothing I have really synergizes other than forcers. I'll buy the miner too. Why not? But you know, if this snake takes off, then you know it's gonna take off really well because we do have a miner, and hopefully we'll get a bit of extra money. So the two couple of snakes I've won with, I think rogues are actually quite good, but you have to get the items that really support them. They don't dole out the damage as much as you'd really hope for. At least not in my experience, and that's like after getting all of the items that I need. I think the Rangers are probably one of the best class because you can usually they usually deal damage out from like a huge distance, and you can also get classes. This is a curious thing that I don't quite understand yet. I want to get our interest going. You can get an item that will deal more damage if you're far away, which is really good. It's one thing I will say. Like I think that the way enemies spawn, I could use a little bit of work because I don't generally get enough notice. Like if I was right exactly in that middle, I would basically take a bunch of damage, and I could like do everything I could to move away from that X, but it can still end up not working out for you. So I try to spend like actually move around, not quite the corners and not quite the middle. Basically, these like the kind of regions for exactly that reason, because all of the spawn sections are in the corners and in the middle. So if you're moving, like if you're exactly like in this area, you'll basically never take damage from enemies spawning in. And then you can kind of focus on, oh, interesting. Oh, chance to summon a pet. Let's grab this and we'll grab the miner so we can level up our miner. This is the boss, right? So you can focus on basically moving out of the way and dealing some damage from afar, or you know, I haven't quite made warriors work just yet, but I'd like to. I don't quite know how to make like I think you need the unit I have where it pulls everyone into a specific spot. I think you need something like that to really make warriors work, because getting close is like basically the last thing you want to do. I suppose if you had the right healer setup, you could basically tank enemies a little bit like I just did accidentally. And you wouldn't have to worry so much about your health. Also, I think warriors actually increase your defense, so maybe that's the idea, is you don't have to worry too much about the damage you're taking. I will say I think I really do like I do like this game. I think that there's a lot of thought that's been given to the perk system, the synergy, and the mechanics of each class, which is, like, again, considering what the game looks like, its minimalist display, its execution, you wouldn't expect that level of depth, but it's there. And the care has been given to making sure everything is kind of balanced. And that's the other thing is, like, these updates are significant. Like they're adding major mechanics. 25% damage over time. Critter health. All warriors gain. But there's no the care is being given to the balance of the game, which I have to really appreciate. Don't know if I want to do anything here really. Mages, nukers, or voiders. What we do want is actually we want mages. This is a sorcerer, so we do want a mage. Voiders. So we would like Forcer is not what we really want. So one thing we don't actually want. We want mages and nukers. That was a mistake on my part. Psyker. Yeah, that's not what we want. So I'll keep above 15 so we get that extra interest. I do think the items are important. I think it's actually valuable to pivot your snake if you get the right item. If you find the right item, then you can start to pivot your snake away from like what you've bought. And I mean, like, there's the missing piece here, of course, is or the elephant in the room, if you like, is, well, okay, but you level up your units. Are you really going to sell like a level 2 unit in order to make your snake work? And I would say yes, if you find the right one. You do get you get most, like, you get some gold back. You don't get a lot back, but when you get to like level 15, 16, 17, you're not worried about gold so much as survival. So is this a voider? Yes, this is a voider. So let's grab that and we'll see how it works. Oh, are we at 8 yet? We are at 8. Is there something we can sell? Not a huge fan of the Juggernaut. I mean, it's okay. It's actually doing well by us, but Nuker, Enforcer, Archer. We want to keep the Mage. Kind of wanted to get the Dual Gunner. Wait a minute. Does this heal? No, this one summons a pet. Oh, I kind of wanted to grab the Dual Gunner because it's not a bad class. I think it's important to have more units than it is to like really focus on your synergy. Once you have something that's kind of working like this one is, then you can kind of start to fine tune your snake. You can always sell your units later, right? So you can sell a unit that doesn't have a lot of synergies. That's that enemy always tears me up because I always don't realize what's happening until it's too late. Yeah, you can sell your units that aren't really doing well by you, and then like buy ones that build into a synergy. So I think that early on you really don't want to worry too much. If you buy the units work well for you, that like do a lot of dole out the damage and improve your survival. And don't worry so much about that. Well, I need 2 miners or I need an extra voider because, so I should, don't re-roll is what I'm saying. Until like way later when you don't care so much about money. Yeah, I mean, like this snake needs a lot of work, but we're gonna buy some mages and we're gonna buy some voiders. So this is a conjurer. Not really what we want. Okay, so we can we have over 39. We have 39 gold, so we can start re-rolling now. So here we go. Here's a witch sorcerer. So the hunter's pretty good. sells for 2. Keep an eye on like how much something sells for. Like this archer is probably okay, but we can do better. So let's sell the archer, and buy the witch. And actually, let's make use of the new mechanics. Let's buy. Let's upgrade the shop. I'll re-roll. There's another witch. I'll actually. Is this a? This is a sorcerer cursor. So since this fulfills 2 synergies, it might actually be more helpful than something else. And I think we sell our Juggernaut. Yes, it is actually quite good. But this one is we're going to fulfill the first synergy on 2 different classes, so I think that might actually do more for us. And I will buy the witch. I think, okay, so, and here's the other thing. If you're at like 27 gold, it actually is worth re-rolling because you can then lock if you see something good. But I think it's better to get that extra re-roll in to see what it is, because if there is nothing good, then you basically got a free re-roll in a sense. And then because when you come back after the round, it'll be a new set of characters. But if you get that reroll and you find something really good, then it was worth the reroll. I don't know if this snake is really doing it for us. Maybe I was incorrect in my assessment to get rid of the Juggernaut. Yeah, we're not doing anything now. Wow. Okay, I can admit when I was just like completely wrong. Yeah, that was awful. That was like absolutely terrible. Well, you know what? I'll leave it there. And this is one of the things I do. One of the reasons I'm recommending this game again is because it's one of those games where I learn things as I'm playing it, and I like those kind of games. I like a game where experimentation is like highly incentivized. And this is one of the reasons I like roguelikes in the first place, is because it's, dying sucks, but what did you learn? And what did you find out what works together? So, like, for instance, I learned, maybe the miner's good, maybe the mercenary class is good, but it's not something you want to buy on your first turn. So now I know. And also, I just want to keep this video fairly short since you have seen this game before, but I really did want to highlight some of the new stuff that's been added to it. This is SNKRX, or SNKRX. I don't know why it's called SNKRX. I think if I had one major criticism, it would be for the name, because I guess it's memorable, but I don't know why. I just don't know. I just don't know why. But anyway, this is SNKRX, and it's a good game. You should check it out. And it's also like $5. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.